What's up guys, it's Rico here, CEO of Sourcefine Asia, host of the Made in China podcast and the host of the Sourcefine Asia YouTube channel. Back with another one, coming to you live from Canggu, Bali. In this video I wanted to talk about a recent experience I had I guess 6 months ago. I checked off something off of my bucket list, which is basically to travel on Emirates Business Class out of my own pocket. So on an international flight on an Airbus A380. Yeah, so it was a pretty big moment for me. I think I have like a few different items that I've had on my bucket list from when I started creating it. The Airbus A380 has been a plane that I've aspired to fly on when I was whenever they announced it, I feel like I was maybe 14 or 15. My mom got to fly on it quite a lot when I was a teenager. And then the first time I flew on that plane was probably 2015. I want to say, yeah, 2015. It was probably the first time I flew on that plane, and I was like 22, 23 at the time, which was a big thing. It was also like check on my bucket list. I love that plane. Like, I don't particularly enjoy international travel, like being on planes. But if you've flown in Emirates before, even Emirates like economy class feels like a little bit even more than an economy. So the next thing for me was obviously to try to fly on business class, and I just got this opportunity to upgrade my ticket at a reasonable cost. So I took it. One of the first things that happens is when you are boarding the plane, instead of going to, there's always like two different lines when you're going into a plane. There's like first class, business class, and an economy. But really what happens technically is like the first class and business class are like the first sections of the plane before you board. And then some planes you might have the first class go in to a different door, all on the same level. With the first class and business class on the Emirates A380 plane, you walk through a different ramp. So you actually go through the ramp and then you go upstairs, because the business class and first class are on a different floor, and you go directly into business class. So I actually didn't even see first class. There's a different door to go to first class. And as soon as you walk in, I just remember you sit down at your section, immediately get served with the options of champagne, orange juice, or whatever other drinks they had.
Right, so welcome on board. Can I offer you a welcome drink?
Sure.
We've got some champagne, we've got fresh orange juices and apple juice.
Champagne will be good.
All right, perfect. So we're serving Moët and Chandon today. Enjoy. There you go.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. And then I remember one of the things that I was taken aback by was the fact that I had my own mini bar on my seat. So I had like a mini bar and snack bar. There was like water, soft drinks, a bunch of little snacks here and there. It was also like motion controlled chair, so my chair could completely recline. And then as soon as we started off, one of the hostesses came up to me and asked me if I wanted to set up my bed. And I was like, all right, so one of the air hostesses was nice enough to come and offer to make a bed for me. And I was like, yeah, go ahead. And I started to see there's like a lot of work involved. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to go to sleep. You know what I mean? First time on business class, maybe I want to enjoy the flight. It's a 7-hour flight. Maybe I'm just going to stay up the whole time and just fuck it, take in the environment. And, there's a bar, literally an actual bar with a bartender. Maybe I just want to enjoy that. I might not go to sleep. I was like, oh, you know what? Don't work that hard. They give you like a mattress almost that you can put over the seat. It's almost like a seat cover mattress. So because there wasn't that many people on the plane, instead of setting up the bed on my seat, I set it up on one of the seats next to me. So basically, I had my own seat, and then next to me was another seat, and then they set up the bed. It was like a fully reclined bed with a duvet, and so that was a very, very interesting thing to see. Then, once we got to altitude, obviously they give you like a full menu, which is, if you've been in an economy, there is like a menu as well that has a la carte, like different options. The business class menu is just like way more extensive. You just have way more options on that menu. So that was also a pretty awesome deal. And then you basically pick out your meal in advance, and then they go and prepare it, and you can also customize your own meal, which is awesome. So once we got to altitude, I went to the bar. That was one of the big, they have like an actual lounge. It's not even just a bar. So there's a sort of bar area where there's a full-time bartender there, and then there's actual seating around. And just in case there's turbulence, the seating actually has seatbelts. So if there's turbulence on the plane, you don't actually have to go back to your original seat. You could just pretty much hang out in the lounge. So that was that's pretty much where I spent most of the time on the plane, was hanging out by the bar. I got to talk to the bartender there, and one of the other attendees who was walking around. Had a very, very interesting conversation with him about his experiences on Emirates, flying around the world, and just him breaking down all the interesting people that they've met, from CEOs to politicians, and just rubbing shoulders with some of the richest people on the planet. So that was a very enlightening experience. Like I feel like when you are 40,000 feet in the air, sitting at a bar, like creating cocktails, which was one thing that happened with me, is I got to go behind the bar and start. I think he taught me how to make some cocktails, which I'm sure we'll take a break right here for you guys to see that B-roll. This is crazy shit. Like, this is literally a bar in the lounge, like in the business class area. It's a legit bar, like you know what I mean? Like, with a selection of any sort of alcohol you want. They call it the lounge. It's the business class, first class lounge. Couches over there. Couches over there. Stripper poles on deck. If any of the ladies out here. Or dudes. You wanna be out here stripping. We got you. We got you. Emirates. That's how we do it. Everybody's sleeping, but I'm hanging out with my main man, Hussein, bartender. He's teaching me drinks. We're doing it.
Cheers. Espresso martini, yeah?
My man, Hussein.
How do you do it? So it's a shot of coffee mixed with Tia Maria and Belvedere vodka. Exactly. Mix it together in a shaker with ice, and you will be surprised with the results, yeah? Cool.
Can I have halal drinks?
Coming up next. And then the last one. Espresso shot.
Oh, look at this. Cheers. Nice, huh?
When you're at that altitude, sitting in a bar, having awesome conversations about life and travel and stuff like that, it just kind of completely negates the negatives of traveling. A lot of times I'm not happy on planes, like especially the long haul flights. So being able to just hang out and take your mind off of the fact that you're flying through there in a tin can, 500 miles an hour. Like, it's really, really comforting. I also got to sit down with, there was a guy who sat down at the bar who was an actual former Emirates pilot. And he was also breaking down some of the experiences that he's had flying around the world. That was interesting. And then I actually got to interview one of the hostesses. She was from South Africa, and the audio quality wasn't the best just because we're on a plane, so you hear the plane background. But, and I'm not gonna lie, I had quite a few drinks at that stage, so I'm not sure how good of an interviewer I was at that stage. But like, I think we had a very fascinating conversation. And then at some stage when they brought over my food, it was like I got to sit at the bar and eat it. It was freshly made for me, customized a few things, and then I remember hanging out at the bar for a little bit more and then sitting down on the seat and going to sleep in the bed, waking up and finding myself in Dubai. The flight was from Hong Kong to Dubai. Dubai is strategically located, so if you're doing a connecting flight to most places, like if you're coming from China or Hong Kong, if you can fly in Emirates, you're 90% gonna end up on a Airbus A380 if you're connecting through Dubai. And the economy tickets are not that expensive. Like from Hong Kong to Dubai, I think economy is like $500 maybe, one way, maybe even less than that if you buy a return ticket. And then, you know, if you're connecting to New York, or in my situation, I was going to Zambia, my return ticket was like $900 total. I paid significantly more than that for the business class experience, but it was well worth it. So yeah, definitely a major thing that I checked off of my bucket list. The next thing is first class, of course. I'm sure we'll be able to make it happen soon. But anyways, that's it from me. I'm gonna sign off from Canggu, Bali. And if you like this kind of content, like, comment, share, subscribe. And I will see you guys next week. This is my first time flying business class on Emirates like that, but I flew in business class before. It's my first time flying business class on Emirates, which I think is just a completely different experience, because like Emirates economy is fucking like like business class at some airplanes. It's stuffy out here, man. Everyone's very serious on business class. One of the hostesses noticed I was wearing my jacket. She was like, "Do you want me to take your jacket?" I was like, "Yeah, you can take my jacket. Why not?" Hot towel? I think I will. You know the way you say, like, act like you've been there before? Fuck that shit. Yeah, I'm settled. I'm more relaxed in my environment. Not as hyped as I was like 30 minutes ago.
How was it?
Better than mine. Clearly.
Sure, man.